everyone, welcome to Becky's Crafts and Goodies. Today I'm going to show you how to make these super easy little gift bags. Now these are fantastic for Christmas, birthdays. You can use them if you're an Etsy seller, maybe you do craft fairs, anything like that. Now I begrudge buying gift bags. I buy them, but I think they're so expensive. Things are just getting so expensive now. And if you can learn how to make them yourself, then you can save so much money. Now these are made out of 12 by 12 paper. And you can buy 12 by 12 paper in so many different places. It's really easy to get hold of. And you can also, if you cut the size right, get 2 bags out of 1 sheet of paper. So I'm going to show you now how to make them. Right, so to start with, we're going to make the size where you can make 2 out of 1 sheet of paper. So I've got a sheet here. It's not the thin paper. You want it to be a little bit thicker, like card. If you wanted to make larger ones, larger bags, then you could use the really thick wrapping paper as well. Just use the same principle and do the same thing. So what we're going to do for the long top part of the card, we're going to keep it 12 inches. And then on this side, we're going to literally just cut it in half. So we need to measure the 6-inch mark and just cut that in half, and that will make us 2 bags. So we'll put that to one side. Just bring my scoreboard in, and I am going to put links for Amazon if you wanted to buy any of these tools and things that I'm using, because they do make life a little bit easier. So now what we're going to do is we're going to measure out and we're going to do the scoring for the bags, and it's really simple to do. So let me just grab my correct scoring tool. It's very handily snuck in the side there. So to start with, we're going to make this size bag. So these are really cute. You can get 2 out of this size. You can make them smaller as well if you wanted to. That's another inch smaller, so you can just adapt it and make them how you want. So to start with, we're going to mark on the 4-inch mark. So you just get your scoring tool and you go all the way down, and then we're going to mark out 3/4 of an inch. So we're going to keep the paper on the scoreboard where it is, go on to the 3/4 mark, so it's 4 3/4, and mark that. Then we're going to go another 3/4. We're keeping it exactly where it is, and we're going to go on the 5.5 inch score line. Okay, so that will take us to that part. Now what you can do now is you can actually turn it round just to make it a little bit easier to do the other side. And from this corner, so basically it's upside down now, we're going to cut on the score, should I say, on the 1-inch mark. And then after that, we're going to do another 3/4. So this will be on 1 3/4. And then after that, we're going to do another 3/4. So that will be on 2 1/2. And then what that leaves us with is this section here, which is 4 inches. Then once you've done that, you need to turn it 1/4 turn. And on the bottom of your paper, make sure if you've got a pattern on it, you get the bottom. You need to score 1 inch. So go all the way down the bottom and score on the 1-inch mark. And that's all the scoring that you need for the bag. Now if I turn it over, you'll probably be able to see it a little bit better. Now what I like to do at this stage is to fold the score lines. And I fold it like this, so you've got the bits like that. Fold those in like that, just like a fan, like a concertina type thing. And then also the bottom one, we need to fold the bottom one up like that. And then what we're going to do is do a couple of cuts, and these are really simple. If you can see here, you've got these sections. All you need to cut, bits that come down, you just have to cut that one there, miss the middle one, and then cut the next one. And then you just move along, do exactly the same thing. You cut that one, miss the middle one, and then cut the next one like that. Right, so once that's done, we can put some sticky tape on. Now I've got an ATG gun. These are absolutely fantastic. If you've not seen them before, basically it's a pre-loaded tape dispenser. They're quite fancy. and I've just run out of the tape that goes in the middle. I did buy some cheaper tape which I've got, but I don't get on with it, so I'm going to stick to the actual Scotch tape. It's just so much better to use. But what you can do if you've got that and you do paper craft, literally you just hold the handle in and you pull it down and it puts your tape on. It's dead easy to do. So I'll put a link for this in the description with the other tools in case you fancied buying yourself and treating yourself to one of those, but they are so much easier. But what I'm going to use in this instance is just the normal bog standard double-sided tape. You can also get the red line tape as well. So it's a tape that looks like this, but it's a red colour, and that tends to be a bit stickier as well. So that's always handy to have in your stash. So sticking wise, I'm going to tell you the bits that you need to put some glue on now. So what we're going to do is turn it over so the front of the bag is facing us, and we're going to put some tape along this small section. So if you can see, that's the long bit. We've got an extra bit there which we made an inch. We did a little inch flap, and that's the bit that's going to help us to stick the bag together. So get yourself some tape, run it along. I generally put a couple of bits on. Do it as close to the edge that you can go without overlapping. Leave that on to start with, and that's all you need on the front half. Then you turn it over so you're on the inside, and I'll tell you where to put the glue here. You want some on this first little flap here. I'll just find the end because I've just lost the end. So just get a small amount and stick it on there, and then another little bit and stick it on there. You can use wet glue as well if you prefer to work with that, that's absolutely fine. Then we're going to miss out this flap here, and this next bit, which is the long 4-inch bit, we're going to run one strip. It's very important you only use one strip of the tape along the bottom. Then we're going to miss out this next section, and we're going to put a tiny bit of glue on here. Now there isn't a flap here to tell you where to stop, but you want to put about the same amount that you've got on here. So I just rip a bit off and just put some on there like that. Right, so now what we're going to do is to stick the bag together. So take off your bits of sticky tape. Right, so the first part we're going to stick, once we've peeled these bits off, is this long section here, and this will just form the main shape of the box. I've pulled all the other bits of tape off, and just, as I say, just be careful that they don't all like stick to bits that they're not supposed to stick to. So what we're going to do is to stick this part to this bit, and this will be like the bit that closes it all together. So just be careful just to line up these little bits there, and then carefully go along and line the bag up to the top there. And then in here, this little section, we're going to fold both the flaps in, and they'll go in easy because we've already scored them. And the bit there that's got the 2 bits of tape either side, that goes down first. Just stick that there, and then the last bit to go in is this bit, and that's the bit with one strip of the tape on, and that's why we only put one strip on. And then that just literally neatly fits in like that. Now if you wanted your bag to fold, then you could put an extra sort of crease score line in there, and that would fold as well if you wanted it to fold flat, but these would normally just sit like this, and that would be fine. But if you wanted to, you could do it so that part folded down and sort of sat flat as well. Now what we're going to do is to put the holes on the top. Now what I've done, let me just show you one of these, is this method actually weaves in and out ribbon, so the bag is completely shut. So if you don't want anybody to peep at it, then this method, the first method, is the one that you should do. If you want it and you don't mind, it's more like a traditional with the handles, then they're really easy to do. I'll show you how to do those as well. But the first one I'll show you is with the holes, so you can actually weave it through. So you want the top part of your bag, and I would say to measure down around about maybe 3/4 inch, depending on the size of your bag. If you're doing a small bag, maybe go 1/2 inch. If you're doing a bigger one, go you know, about 1 inch down. But For this size, 3/4 of an inch is absolutely fine. If it helps, you could also do a very, very faint line with a pencil just to keep your lines in order. But this bag, luckily, has actually got a mark, and we can use that for what we need. So this is where you need to put your pencil marks. If you look inside the bag, you've got the bit that folds in either side, and we need to put a hole through there and through there. So we're going through all of the bits, and that helps the bag to stay shut. We also need one directly in the middle. If you wanted to measure these out, then you could get your ruler out and measure them out. So what I'm going to do to start is I'm going to put a little round mark in the centre of the bag, and then I'm going to put one either side, and making sure we incorporate these bits in our design. So you have to go quite close to the edge, but not so close that your ribbon's going to come out. So at the minute we've got 3 holes. Now what we need to do is to put an extra 2 holes in, and to do that you have to go in between these 2 marks, so the end one and the middle one. I'm going to eyeball it, but again, if you feel more confident to measure it out, then feel free to do that. And then we're going to do exactly the same thing for this side. So you've got the hole there, the hole in the middle, and we're going to put 2 extra holes in there. So you've got 7 holes in total. Now, if you've got hole punch, you can use that. If you've got one of these little things, you can buy these little hole punches. That will be absolutely fine. I'm going to use my crop-a-dile. It's a bit of a beast. It's fantastic. If you're not familiar with these, they're really, really good. If you're doing lots of paper craft and things like that, this is a great investment because you can put your holes in them. It also does the little clips as well. You can do smaller holes, bigger holes, and you can extend it out so you can get right into big paper, but I find them really easy. But what we're going to use in this instance is we're going to use the small hole. You can get a small one and a big one, but we're going to use the small one. So because you've got your bits all measured out, it's going to be really, really easy to do. Just make sure that your top part of your bag is together and it's all neatly in place. And then what you do is you just go put it underneath, have a look from the side to make sure that you're punching it in the right place, go down with the hole punch and punch through like that. This crop-a-dile has absolutely no problem at all going through the paper. If you was to try with maybe one of the standard hole punches, you would struggle on these side bits to get it all through. So I'm just going to punch now the rest of the other holes in to the bag, and just be careful that you don't make your holes too big because the ribbon might not go through okay. And if you're doing the traditional handle design, then you don't want the holes big because the handles will slip out. This design's not too bad because you know, size wise, because of the way that you're threading it, and it will hold it okay. So there we've got all our holes. Obviously they're back and front, and to thread them, what I've done is I've numbered the holes in my mind, so I know exactly which ones to come in and out of. So this one being number 1, like 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, like that. So if this one is number 1, this one will be number 3. So we start off with number 3 hole. So I've got some ribbon here. You can use any kind of ribbon, lace, anything like that. You know, anything you can find. Twine would look really, really nice too. You could use that. So get your ribbon, go through. Now you want to start at the front of the bag, so whichever side you want the front to be, that is where you start. So I've got my little seam bit there. I'll probably keep that as the back, even though you can't really see, so it doesn't matter. But we go through on number 3 hole to start with on the front of your bag. I've just got one of these little pokey tools which helps me to push it through, and all you do is to put the ribbon through like that and pull it from the other end. Don't pull it all the way through, save about half the other end, and then you weave it in and out, going in and out the back here. So just poke it through, and then once it comes through to the front, we're going to take the ribbon straight through this side hole. And obviously we've got these extra holes here, but it needs to go through them all. So it needs to go through all 4 bits. Poke that through so it comes through the other side. And then turn it round. And then we go through this one. We'll be stopping in a minute, so pay attention. You can always as well come back to this video when you decide to make it and just follow this step. So poke that one through there. I designed this bag with my mum actually. We sat one evening and worked out the whole ratios and the sizes and everything. So thank you for that, Mum. We sat and worked it out for you. No doubt I'll have to make her a few for presents and stuff to give out. So now we're going through the next one. What we're going to do is we're going to leave it there. So this is hole number 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hole number 4. We're stopping. We're stopping with it inside. Okay, so stop there. Then you go all the way back to where you started from. And let me just pull that round so that's a bit neater. You can always neaten it up at the end anyway. What we're going to do is we're going to miss out number 4. So don't do number 4. Take your ribbon and thread it through hole number 5. So we're forgetting about number 4. And we will use number 4 later. You just poke that through. We'll do exactly the same thing that we did on the other side. So go through here and then go through the other bit. Now these bags are great for craft fairs. If you do craft fairs, think of like if you're doing Christmas goodies. Maybe, you know, I've got some ideas of things that we're going to do on the channel for Christmas this year. Right, so when we've come round to the front, we're going to carry on threading so far. So yeah, we'll be using these, but you could do all sorts of things with them, couldn't you? If you've got like a little Etsy shop or something like that, these would be fantastic. But you could obviously do them so they fold flat, so that would help with postage. Do the next one. So we're just in and out all the time until we get to hole number 4. But I've really enjoyed making them, and you can decorate them as well. Like I've decorated the front, I've put bells on them for Christmas. You could put like little acorns on. There's so many things that you can put on them. You could make tassels and poke those on. The list, as I always say, only stops at your imagination, so you could do all sorts. Right, once you get to this part here, we're going to thread this one through hole number 4. So we're putting 2 bits of ribbon through together on hole number 4, and they're both going to come through to the front. And this is what gives us the bag, the closure. So I wanted a bag where you could actually close it. Can you see? They both go through, and if you look in there, they're in the middle. Now, if you were making loads up, I'd probably stop there, and then you can put your bits and pieces in and then finish this next step off afterwards. Right, so if you're ready to close the bag now, this is how you do it. So you take the bits of ribbon that were at the back through the number 4 hole, and you poke them through the number 4 hole at the front that hasn't got anything through. So you put them through one at a time if it's easier for you, and this is how you will make sure the bag is nice and sealed and nobody can peep in. It keeps it away from prying eyes. And that's what I wanted to do. I wanted a bag that you can actually close, because the normal standard ones you just have to put like some tape on, don't you, or something, whereas these can be tied closed. So it is a little bit fiddly when you're trying to poke the bits through from inside, but it's quite therapeutic to do. I mean, you could even sit and do it and watch like telly or something. You could maybe score all your bags up and put the holes in them, and then just sit and thread them one evening or something. So right, so once we're through there, what I do is put one piece of ribbon one side and one piece the other side, and then it's just a case of tying a bow. But if you want to add anything like some bells or something like that, then you could put the bells on at this point. They're quite nice. Like I've got just a little pot here with a few bells on. This one, I put one of these hearts. This came from, where did that come from? I can't remember. The Works, I think. And you could also write like the names on those. You could put some of the Christmas tags on that we made. You could put those on. You know, there's all sorts of bits you could use. Here we've got some like fake coins that look really cool dangling on there. You could leave them plain with just a ribbon. So, you know, there's loads of bits that you can do. Just pop that to one side and we'll carry on. So for this one, I'm just going to tie a bow just to show you. We all know how to tie a bow, don't we? And pull that tight and then just cut off any excess. Just cut it at a bit of an angle so it doesn't thread. And that is literally your bag all done. And that is super easy, isn't it? And that will save a fortune. So say for instance, this sort of size, that would be good if you make jewellery, earrings, that sort of thing. They'd be great for that. You could package them up. But you know, there's loads of little ideas that you could do. And now I'm going to show you how to do the more traditional way of just threading the handles. Right, so I'm going to use the other half to the sheet that we cut up. I've just made another bag up here. And you want to put the holes in around the similar mark to before. So, you know, you're looking at maybe 1/2 inch, 3/4 of an inch. But with this one, you need to do 2 holes. So you want to kind of measure them so they're like that. It's just the same as the standard, you know, the standard kind of bags that you get. And I'm just, again, going to eyeball these and we'll stamp them. Again, we'll use the small hole just to make sure, because we're going to be threading the ribbon through. So there are the holes there, and I've got some slightly thicker ribbon for this. So just thread your ribbon through there. You could cut it at a bit of an angle as well. That would make the ribbon easier to thread through. And do the same. These would make fantastic bags for wedding favours too, and it would save you an absolute bomb. You could put these on the tables. They would look really cute, wouldn't they? You could use these as your gift, you know, if you're buying presents for like the wedding party. They would be great. So when you've worked out how big you want the handle, all you've got to do is a couple of knots on the other end just to secure, and that's just so it doesn't poke through. And that's why you use thicker ribbon. Just cut that little bit off and then do that, and then just do the same that side. And this is then more of a traditional type of gift bag. And all you will do is do exactly the same thing the other side. And as I said before, you can do this out of thick kind of wrapping paper, but it would need to be the thick stuff. And that's your handle. So I'll just pop a handle on the other side and then we'll be all done. Right, that's it. So that's all done. That's really, really cute. I love the design as well. The pink with the purples I think goes really, really well. This will save you an absolute fortune. So do give it a go. Let me know as well if you have a go at making the Becky bag. I think that would be pretty cool. Again, you can do it for all sorts of different occasions. But that's it from me. So I hope you've enjoyed watching this little DIY tutorial. I hope it's inspired you to have a go yourself. If you haven't already, then please do subscribe. It's completely free and you will get notified as well if you click the bell when I upload another video. And that's it from me then. So I hope you're all okay and I'll see you again soon. You take care. Bye for now.